So it's time to ditch cards, in my opinion, and go back to withdrawing your money from the cash point and spending it in a shop that way. Just purchased myself a cup of tea here, and I was explaining it to the girl. What I was explaining was that I paid for this cup of tea. The original pasty house is going to be angry with me because I've cheated on them, and I paid £1 more than I ordinarily would. Prime, I know that they do nice tea though, so I'm okay with that, and it was the convenience thing more than anything. But yeah, so ditch the cards, and the reason why I say is this, is that if I want to purchase a cup of tea from her, I have to agree that I will pay £2.75 or £2.70 it was for a cup of tea. I know. And she has to agree to sell me the cup of tea for that amount of money. So with any contract, you need both parts, both parties to the contract, you need them both to be okay with it. So she agrees to sell it to me, I agree to purchase it. Both parties consent to that, transaction takes place, I exchange the money and in return I get the cup of tea. Right, when you add another party to any contract, you have to have, the consideration and consent of all parties in the contract have to consent to it for that contract to be fulfilled. So, I want to purchase the tea off of her and I have the money there. She wants to purchase the tea she wants to sell the tea to me. She provides the tea, right. However, it's where it gets interesting. If you get another party involved, so I pay for the tea, she gives me the tea, but the person handling the payments is the bank. Now the bank is that third party, and they've got nothing to do with the provision of the tea whatsoever. But because they are a party to it, they have to agree. Their consent is required. So you now need the consent of 3 parties rather than just the original 2. Originally the 2 parties to the contract, me and the cafe. Now me, the cafe and the bank, and all of those 3 have to be okay with the contract for it to be fulfilled. So I go in there, I order the tea, she makes the tea, I put my card on the little beepy thing for the contactless, and that's a con to try and remove you from the cash quicker, by the way. So I put my thing on the contactless, and and it comes through that the bank's declined it. I might have enough money in my account, but the bank might have declined it. Well, I think Ben's had too much tea today. You know, no telling what he's going to be getting up to when he's chucking that amount of caffeine down his throat. So the bank could arbitrarily decline. It could withdraw its consent for that purchase. And so think about it this way as well. If you don't use cash points and cash will start to disappear. So you could end up in a situation in 10-15 years time where everything is paying with card. That means that every transaction that you do has to be run by your bank first. And so, like, for me, my thought would be, it's time to go back to cash. Cash is the safe stopgap that we have. That without it, a world without cash is not a good world to live in, because you don't have that backup available. And also, like I say, you're getting a third party involved in what should be 2-way contracts in future between you and the person you're purchasing something off of. Like, I think that needs consideration, and I would say that now that we're starting to move back to a safer world, now it's time to ditch all this card only nonsense.